Hey, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to explain to you what the Thrive Dojo is, and inside of that, what prehabbing is. Prehabbing is something that lives within the ecosystem of the Thrive Dojo, which is a company, it's a brand that my friend Skip Kelly started, and it is a system of exercise, a philosophy of doing movement, a mindfulness practice for your muscles that helps put you into a very relaxed and zen-like state. In addition to that, it is one of the best tools that I've ever discovered to help figure out what's going on with your body and discover what are those aches and pains and what are the causes of them, and to start building a relationship. Think of it as a communication channel with those muscles so that you can start connecting to them and you can start alleviating some of those symptoms that you might be feeling. And this is just my watered down sort of layman's description of what prehabbing is and what the Thrive Dojo is. So I got my friend Skip Kelly, who has been cameoing on the channel quite a bit, and he is going to do a much better job of actually breaking down what the dojo is. So I'll leave you to speak with Skip, and I'll see you soon.
Hey everybody, so the Thrive Dojo was created to really build an ecosystem for your health and fitness needs, starting from the place where you've had an injury, whether it's something chronic or acute. An example could be you wake up in the morning and you've had like this weird shoulder pain on and off for the last 10 years, and you want to figure out a way to deal with it that doesn't involve getting shots or surgeries, right? And you want to figure out that internal body system, that mechanism that can heal it, so we teach that. But then going on beyond that, if you get an acute injury, like I broke my foot a few years back really badly in Jamaica dancing, and I was also able to really help that restoration process with my own bones and get those x-rays along the way to help what the doctors were recommending with to be able to heal that. So chronic or acute, it's a system and a whole ecosystem to live in to be able to heal those injuries and then prevent them and become more resilient in the future and really just live a beautiful life, which is why it's called the Thrive Dojo. We used to call it the Prehab Dojo because it was all about the injury side. And I just started to realize with our clients and people we would talk to that they needed to, yes, heal that injury, like we've shown in lots of other videos that you can find around the internet, but then they needed to be able to prevent them in the future and understand how the system was working that would heal them and how they could integrate that into their own exercise routines. Whether they wanted to go back and do yoga after they healed it, now they could begin to integrate the information that they learned healing themselves through the dojo into their yoga practice. So now their yoga practice was healing them like the prehab techniques would. That they could go back to CrossFit and they could apply what they had learned in the dojo, and their CrossFit would begin to make them more resilient and to heal their injuries and prevent them. And then they would have this beautiful skill set that they learned on how to heal these injuries for anything, for their loved ones, for the people that they care about, so they can teach them as well. And no matter what happens in their life, they just know in their back pocket, they have this 11-minute protocol that they can do to figure out what's going on with some sort of pain, tension, cramping, fatigue, soreness that ends up in their body, how to figure out what's actually going on, and then how to do these 60-second protocols to really make it better quickly and be able to test it. The first tenet that we talk about in the Thrive Dojo is that your body is perfect. I really believe after all of these years of helping people, whether it was through really serious autoimmune disorders working alongside their doctors, or whether it was like these chronic injuries that just would crop up for people, right? A back injury this day, a neck injury the next, a foot problem, plantar fasciitis, all these different random things that people can get just using their bodies on a regular basis and going through the stresses of daily life. I found over time that if we tried to fight those injuries, if we tried to loosen tight muscles, if we tried to foam roll things and kind of just get it, force it to loosen, but we didn't figure out the cause, the underlying issues, that they would just either move around to a new area or they would come back to the exact same area, sometimes a lot worse, really quickly. So we had to figure out how can we go after the cause of these things. And what I learned is that the body is keeping the score, as has become a famous quote since, right? It knows exactly how to heal itself. It's communicating with you in such a way to tell you exactly what it needs you to do, exactly how you need to help it. And we've devised a system to help you do that better. The second tenet is feeling muscles and fatiguing them is the key to living a beautiful life. Insensitivity is like the worst symptom that you could possibly have with a muscle that I'm aware of. And a lot of sensitivity is where we're pushing everyone to, in their muscles and in their emotions and mind, right? So being sensitive to things and having a strategy to dealing with those sensitivities is our goal. So if our real goal is to just live a better life, we want that BDNF, that brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the precursor to dopamine, oxytocin, norepinephrine, serotonin, all these great things, right? And if we're gonna get that, we need to fatigue muscles. So to fatigue them, but to get that good joint fluid motion, all the good things we talk about in the dojo, you have to feel the muscles first and make sure they're working really well, which is what prehabbing teaches you. And then we can move it into exercise. We can start to thrive with these things and fatigue those muscles. So that's the second tenet. And then the third tenet that really opens up a whole world of exciting possibilities is frequency. Really what we're teaching is an education of your body and the fact that it isn't an electrical system. Electricity is what runs all of this. It's kind of like you're an iPhone and you need to plug in all of the time. But the question is, are you plugging in? Are you recharging? And are you using one of those crappy slow chargers with the plug that kind of breaks, you know, your plug? Or are you using a supercharger? Do you have a supercharger? Do you know the strategy to plug your body in and really rejuvenate? And that's what the Thrive Dojo is teaching, all the way from healing said injury, chronic or acute, to going into your exercise routine and then improving the frequency of everything in your body, right? And what is frequency, right? It's the level of communication, the speed of communication, the quality of communication that your body has with itself. This is true of muscles. So like when I squeeze my bicep and I go down through this motion, if I can do that really smoothly, you can try this at home. If you can do this really smoothly, see if there's a shake, a little bit of a shake to my muscle. Kyle, is there a shake to my muscle there?
Little one.
Yeah, a little one, right? So that means that the frequency is not super fast, because if it was super fast, you wouldn't see a shake at all. You would just see this beautiful, smooth motion. This is why when you see people doing things like Tai Chi, a lot of it is them being able to use frequency in these more complex motions. We're gonna teach that, how to do it simply, and then how to build it up into a more complex motion, because frequency is what keeps your body healthy. It's the rate of communication, and the better that that communication can be, the more variable that that communication can be, similar to heart rate variability, the healthier the system. Which brings me to my last point about the dojo, which talks a lot about happiness. It talks a lot about thriving, about living a beautiful life. And if you're familiar at all with the practices of meditation and what it does to your brain waves, all it's doing is increasing the frequency of your brain waves. It's increasing the frequency of your emotions, right? Because high frequency emotions are like love and abundance and gratitude, right? And low frequency emotions are like anger and sadness and fear, right? So if we're trying to increase the frequency of our muscles and our body's an electrical system, then what happens as that frequency increases amongst all of our muscles that store our emotions, right? And then help us experience more of that precursor to happiness hormones. Well, we become happier people. We have higher frequency energy. We have higher frequency emotions, and we experience a higher frequency life. And that's really what thriving in the Thrive Dojo is all about. Okay, so what is the Thrive Dojo not about? Well, the Thrive Dojo is something where it's really a lifestyle exercise mentality, but similar to something that's like glorious together, like peanut butter and jelly in a sandwich between bread. Those two things were meant to be together. The universe, God, Allah, whatever, they created them for each other. They needed to meet in human history. Similar to exercise and meditation. Not to say that those two techniques, because there's so many ways you can exercise, so many ways you can meditate, but the reasons we do those two things had to meet at some point. And that's what the Thrive Dojo is teaching. So let's talk about that. Exercise. Why do we exercise, right? Well, we want to feel better, we want to look better, and mostly we just want to have more energy in our day, and we want to feel more strength, more agility potentially, right? Whether that's being able to pick up your kids and do laundry all day, or whether that's being able to go out and run an Ironman, or just hang out with your friends and have like a six-pack. All of those things are why people exercise, right? Why do people meditate? Well, people meditate because they want to feel calmer, they want to be able to be more stress resilient, right? And they want to really meet their internal selves. We are literally teaching how to get exactly what you want out of exercise, primarily in the sense of feeling really great every day, having super high energy levels, and having that amazingly high frequency where you can experience and be more open to inspiration and gratitude and love with everyone in every situation of your life. That will happen as you do the Thrive Dojo techniques. And meditation, the ability to become present. Because when we're doing these exercise techniques, especially the ones where we're dealing with injuries, or even if you're not dealing with injuries, I practice the prehab, the really recovery side, or the rejuvenation side of the techniques all of the time, just to feel better on a day-to-day basis, because it literally feels like you did some sort of a transcendental meditation or a silent meditation when you do the prehab tracks, because of the way it's been constructed, the music and the way that it moves you, and the way that you're focusing your energy. And it's like, meditation can be really challenging, right? You have to sit still for so long and focus on what people are saying or not saying if you're doing a silent one, right? In the Thrive Dojo, when you do these laying down prehab tracks or even the standing ones, you're sitting there and you're focusing on something, and there's an action to do, but you hold that action. You do an isometric contraction for a long time where you're just squeezing a muscle and you're just holding it 60 seconds, sometimes longer. And all I'm doing is coaching you on how to feel that muscle, how to feel it beautifully well. And because it's giving you something to do, because it's got a focus point, it's very similar to meditation, because you are calm, you are relaxed, your eyes are closed. And it absolutely changes your brain the same way that meditations can, right? So you're getting these benefits of exercise, you're squeezing those muscles, you're feeling them and you're fatiguing them, getting that BDNF, getting that precursor to all of those beautiful hormones that give you that energy and that happiness that we all know exercise for. And you're getting this beautiful focus, this calmness, this regularity, this time with yourself. And we're combining those with the Thrive Dojo. And we're doing that all the way from helping you with these chronic or acute injuries into exercise, into intense exercise. And that's what we're building at the Thrive Dojo. So come join us. So I'm gonna bring your good friend Kyle back in here because he's got some closing thoughts for you. Enjoy.
So after knowing Skip for a number of years now and living with him in many different parts of the world, I have slowly started to adopt some of these practices, and they have made a profound impact not only on my physical health, but also on my mental health. Because of the nature of prehabbing and its meditative-like process, it has alleviated a lot of tension in my body, but also tension in the mind. And if there's tension in the mind, there's also tension in the body. So it's been a beautiful practice for me to practice. And so I'm so ruthlessly passionate about sharing it with the world, and I'm absolutely committed to getting it into your hands. And I would love for you to try a track for yourself. Tell us about your experience, and then we can help guide you and help make the experience even better. This is something that's very new, and we're working on creating the best product possible. So we need your help as much as you need ours. And I think we can develop this beautiful dynamic where you're getting amazing results in your life, and you can give us feedback about how to make it even better and better and better. So with that being said, that's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, please hit that like button. It really does help out with the channel. And if you aren't subscribed already, hit that bell right there or there, wherever it might be, and go check out this video because I know you're gonna like that one, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Be well.